guys, I'm Sharzat Morgan, escort, porn model, and life coach, author of The Fuck List and The Rewrite, What I Did for Sex and What It Can Do for You. Let's take our hats off to women's pleasure. The whole purpose of my book was to say women have a right to pleasure. I imagine myself being on the Oprah show, being a spokesperson for a woman's right to pleasure. However, that never came to be. I honestly don't think that Oprah has a healthy view on her sexuality, and someone like me is not what she's interested in on her show. Maybe due to her own sexual abuse in her childhood, I know she has not really been a space for sexual empowerment, but Amazon was. I self-published my book, and maybe I'll never be on the Oprah show. However, I will be on my own YouTube channel, propagating a woman's right to pleasure, autonomy, and sexuality. And in this vein, I'm going to make this video about threesomes, which I describe in my book. First, I want to share with you a book I'm reading that was published in the 70s, The Erotic Silence of the American Housewife. So good. You know, I was wrong when I said in a video that women usually want sex in a relationship. So wrong. It is not true. Women yearn for pleasure and sex that's hot and juicy. That's what we yearn for. The idea of women as the caretakers of children and husbands and of silence, you know, has been a myth and a lie. Women's voices have been silenced. We are sexual, powerful beings. We have desires and wants, and that scares the shit out of people. Take that, Oprah. Take that, Oprah. You know? Okay. Now, I want to talk about threesomes. Threesomes are really hard to arrange. I had a yummy, juicy threesome with 2 men recently, and it's the second threesome I had with 2 men, but the first real one. The first threesome I had with 2 men was a few years back. It was 7 years ago, before I was an escort, and it was a man I had hooked up with once. He came back with his sidekick, a much younger man. The guy was 19, so I had a 35-year-old and a 19-year-old here. And as soon as things started going, I was just like, I don't like this, because the one guy's kissing me, the other guy's touching me down here. And I'm like, I can't, like, so much is happening. I don't like how you're touching me. Now I can't tell you. I'm trying to relax into this kiss. And it was just not going well at all. So I tried to redirect it. It didn't go well. So I sent the sidekick out of the bedroom, and I asked the elderly gentleman, 35-year-old, to stay in the room with me. And we just finished our encounter together. And I decided if I ever have a threesome with 2 men, I want to know the men. I want to have it so that I don't have to be guarded in my body. And I need at least one guy to have my back so I can feel like it feels good. The threesome I had with the 2 gentlemen the other day is on my Just for Fans. It was hot and juicy. It was anal. There was oral. There was anal. There was one guy swallowing the other guy's cum. There was a guy coming on my face. There was me face sitting the younger guy while the older guy was riding him in his ass. And it was all beautiful and sensual and hot. And afterward, we had a discussion about how it went and what we each liked. And they both thanked me for creating the safe space for them to have this anonymous sexual encounter with another man, because they had, for the one, it was the first time being with another man, and he wanted a safe space. He didn't want to go to a bathhouse. He didn't want to go on Grindr. And they also both wanted a woman there. So I was really grateful that I created this safe space for them, and I would love to do this again with other men. It was very enjoyable for me. We had some great 25 minutes of amazing footage. If you want to see that, this is how you can find me on Just for Fans. You're going to have to do a little research, because I'm not going to put that out here. I use a stage name for my escort business and my Just for Fans. So you're going to have to do some research to find me. You will have to look on one of the more upscale escort ads. Look for me in the mature section. And from there, go to my website or follow me on Twitter and find my Just for Fans. That's how you can find me if you really want to. There is no other way to find me because I blur my face, I use a stage name, and I've really separated those two businesses. But when my escrow clients get here, I tell them my real name. You guys can know my stage name if you find it, because I don't want to be recognized in public. I want to keep that discreet, but for the men who do the effort, you can find me if you want. Now, threesomes. The threesome I arranged with the two men was extremely challenging to arrange. I had tried many times. I had advertised it on my Twitter, on my Just for Fans, where I have over 200 subscribers. On Twitter, I have thousands of followers. And I had some men who said they wanted to do it, but didn't follow through with the deposit. They just chickened out. And my friend, the elderly gentleman who's my age, we were just commenting on how these guys are just big talkers, And then I finally started asking some of my clients if they were interested in having like a bisexual experience. And I found some people who were, but only one person who actually stepped up. And that was like so hard to arrange. Now, even with men, when they're with another man, they have requirements. They're not like any dick will do. That's why on Grindr, they just like, I'm smooth, my dick is like this, I'm cut, I'm not cut, I want to be a top, I want to be a bottom. And so I have to talk to these men and find out what each of them likes. So the one is like, I want a younger man, I want someone who's hairy, and I want to be a bottom. And I want him to just devour me with his cock, and I want to take his cum, okay? And then the other man was like, I like older men only. I want to be with an older man, and I want to be a top. So that's how it all worked out. Now, for me having had threesomes with couples has been a challenge. I've only been able to arrange a few over the years, despite being in swinger events for like 6 months a few years ago. Again, so many couples didn't want to be with me for whatever reason. Maybe the wife was jealous, or I wasn't her type, or I wasn't the guy's type. I don't know. In the polyamory events, the people are extremely selective. They only have sex in their relationships. They don't hook up. And meeting people on online dating apps was, of all the couples I ever met, only one couple ever came through for the threesome. She liked me enough to want a second threesome. Her husband said that was unusual. And on the second threesome, she got super jealous and started crying, so I had to end the session. She got jealous. So I think that, threesomes have been a challenge for me to arrange. Even me, as being a unicorn in the lifestyle, had a challenge arranging threesomes. By the way, I'm not naked. This is just a dress I'm wearing, okay? All right, let's get that clear. So, it's not as easy as you think. Even me as a woman looking for a threesome has been a challenge. And there were couples in the lifestyle that were very active, and I couldn't get any of them for a threesome. I did manage a few threesomes. They were disappointing because they all consisted of a woman just wanting to do her husband or boyfriend a favor because he wanted to feel macho or be with another woman. And the women weren't even allowed to do anything or didn't want to do anything. So after the third one, I decided I'm only going to have a threesome with a woman who actually likes women, because I don't want to just have this woman watch me being fucked by her husband or her boyfriend. I want a woman who's actually interacting with me. Personally, for me, there's too much going on. I will tell you one thing that has never happened to me in a threesome. Never happened in threesome is that I had an orgasm. Never happened in any threesome that I had an orgasm. Never happened. There's too much going on, too many people, and the time runs out. I don't feel relaxed. I don't feel like I have the space to even do it. And another thing that happened in all my threesomes is that the couple I had where the woman got jealous, she had a lot of orgasms. The husband never had one. The other couples, the woman never had an orgasm because she was just watching. Like, I've never had a threesome where everyone had an orgasm, ever, ever. So, you know, I think they're made out to be a lot greater than they are. For me, the threesome with the two men was more about me wanting to see two men together. I've always wanted to see two men together. Enjoying each other's bodies, kissing, enjoying each other's bodies. I wanted to see it. And what was really cool in our threesome the other day was that one of the gentlemen filmed me fucking this other guy, and it was hot. I was like, damn, I look good. We got some really good footage, and he was watching me be fucked, which was kind of cool. So it's fun to try those experiences. I wouldn't say that I was aroused as physically as much as I was aroused mentally. And also we were doing a lot of filming, and the filming, you guys, it does take away from the intention we have on each other. You know, people's arousals go down, guys lose their erections while the cameras are being repositioned. They have to get hard again. We have to get back in the mood again. So, you know, the filming is definitely a lot of it. We didn't film everything. Like, we didn't film when we had to get each other turned on again and all these different things. I think that threesomes are overrated. Some men I've been with told me I don't like threesomes. They're overrated. There's too much going on. I do really think it's great if you can have sex with someone of the same gender just to see what it feels like. You know, if you're a man, what does it feel like to have another penis in your mouth, or to touch a penis, or to kiss another man? You know, you start to appreciate the strength of a man, you know, the more aggressive nature of a man. You feel that, and you can maybe feel your own power in that. For a woman, being with a woman, you can feel more like the softness of a woman. Kissing a woman is so different from kissing a man. Like, women's lips are just so softer. You know, touching a woman, touching her skin, everything is softer. And it can make you really appreciate your own softness and femininity and what men see in us. So, threesomes are super difficult to arrange. Hey, if you've had difficulties arranging a threesome, you're not alone. If you have not had difficulties arranging a threesome, I want to hear from you. I want to know what your tricks are. I don't know. If I wanted a threesome right now, I could tell you, even if I wanted to be with a couple or two men or any kind of threesome, it would probably take me weeks. Even if they weren't clients, just people I wanted to have a threesome with, it could take me weeks or months to find someone to do it with. And even then, the pleasure level could be very mediocre, to be honest with you, because just the way that sex with a man isn't always that great, sex with a couple can be also not that great. And if they need to be on drugs or drunk to do it, it just would totally take the pleasure out of it, because there's nothing worse than sloppy sex. And I don't, someone left a comment on one of my videos about threesomes, and that he's bisexual, he likes threesomes. You know, just finding a situation where the man doesn't just want to be the bottom. Like, can you be a bottom and a top? Can you do both? And can you be with a couple where they're not doing like a bunch of drugs, like meth or coke? You know, I don't want to be around that stuff. And I don't want to kiss somebody who's got numb coke tongue. You know, I don't want to be around that stuff. So I wouldn't want to have sex in that situation either. Like, finding people where everything matches up. Not that easy. I hope you guys will check out one of my books, or leave a review on Amazon for me. I would just love that so much. It would sure help me out. I still think this book would make a fabulous movie, and I need to get going. I have not even thought again about having a screenplay made for it. That's probably another thing I should do. Maybe I should also start reading some sections out of this book to you guys and uploading that to my YouTube channel, just to give this book more of a voice and encourage more people to read it. And maybe someone will come across this and be like, yeah, I want to read her book. I want to make it into a movie. I want to make it into a screenplay. You can even change the stories around a little bit. Like, this is just about a woman who is married and is discovering her own sexuality. Like, do we as moms have a right to our sexuality? It's kind of in the same genre as, without cheating as these women did. Why were these women cheating? Because if you're an authentic person, you can just tell your spouse, I want to have sex with someone else. It doesn't have to be cheating. I don't really believe in the cheating. I have to read more of the book to see if I can be okay with that. I think there has to be a way that people can have their sexual needs met and not feel trapped without having to cheat. I'm still kind of grappling with how to be okay with the cheating aspect of it for myself. I think that seeing an escort isn't so much cheating because it's just one time and it has a container. Having an ongoing affair and keeping that from your spouse, to me, is a cheapening of the relationship. Like, why don't I take that sexual energy that I'm devoting to looking for an affair or thinking about this affair person? Why don't I channel that sexual energy into my relationship, or at least tell my partner? But maybe the answer is that some relationships are so imperfect. We have someone that maybe is comfortable as a spouse or good as a parent, yet sexually or emotionally we're so unfulfilled, like this person doesn't get us. Like the first story in this book, this woman is having an affair with a fellow writer, like a therapist. She's a writer for a medical magazine, and her husband thinks that her job is just ridiculous, that hopefully she'll just grow out of it. And she meets this therapist at a conference, and they just have so much in common to talk about. So she finally feels understood and valued and appreciated for her mental interests. And so they start having this affair, even though she has good sex with her husband. So I think in that case, it was, I didn't feel seen, valued, or appreciated for my work and what I'm passionate about. Like, I felt dismissed. So I'm going to have an affair with this guy who sees all these parts of me. And that's maybe how she justified it. And maybe a lot of people have those relationships. Like, not everybody meets their really good match that really appreciates and loves all parts of them, where they feel so content and seen and self-expressed that they don't feel the need to cheat, or they could just say, I want to have sex with someone else. That takes nothing away from us. I mean, am I just like having like a utopian vision of marriage or relationship here? Like, am I just like in some fairy tale to think that we shouldn't cheat on our partners? Am I just living in a fairy tale land to think that people can be fulfilled without cheating? I'm always interested in learning more, so I'm going to read this book with an open mind, and not take my childhood into it, because I know that my mother was in a lot of pain from knowing my dad cheated on her. But maybe it's okay. Maybe I shouldn't judge people for that. Maybe it's okay. I just think about where I put my energy and where my heart is, and being true to my heart and not hurting other people. But maybe it's good for some people to have affairs. I don't know. What do you guys think about affairs or threesomes? Please leave your comments, because I learn from you guys as well. And thank you for watching my video on sex and threesomes and cheating.